On a quiet corner in VILLISCA, Iowa, there stands a small white house with a blue sky behind it. At first glance, it looks harmless, almost innocent, like any other Midwestern family home. But on the night of June 9, 1912, 8 people walked into that house. By the next morning, every single one of them was dead, their skulls crushed by an axe. The killer was never caught. Some say the house is still waiting, replaying that night over and over, for anyone brave or foolish enough to spend the night inside. To understand the horror, you have to start with the people who lived here. Josiah B. Moore, a respected businessman, a husband, a father of 4. His wife Sarah, active in the church, gentle, devoted to her children. Their kids, Herman, 11 years old, the oldest boy. Katherine, 10, bright and talkative. Arthur, 7, curious and energetic. Paul, just 5, the baby of the family. On the evening of June 9th, they weren't alone. 2 young sisters, Ina and Lena Stillinger, had come over as guests after a church event. They were only 8 and 11 or 12. 8 souls, in one house. None of them knew that night would be their last. That Sunday seemed like any other small-town summer day. The Moore family went to the Children's Day program at their church, an event Sarah herself had helped organize. The kids recited verses, sang, laughed under the lantern light. People saw them smiling. No dark omens, no warnings, just a loving family in a close community. Later, as evening turned to night, the Moores walked the Stillinger girls back to their home. But plans changed. The Stillinger parents agreed the girls would stay over at the Moore house instead. Just another fun sleepover, or so they thought. They walked back through the calm streets of VILLISCA, oil lamps glowing in windows, crickets singing in the fields. No one noticed the shadow that might have been watching them, waiting for them to come home. Police and historians believe that whoever killed them was already inside the house. In the attic, investigators later found 2 cigarette butts. The theory is simple and terrifying. Someone slipped into the Moore home earlier that day, climbed into the attic, and waited. Imagine that. The family eating dinner, the kids playing, the prayers before bed, all while a stranger sits above them in the dark, listening to every word through the thin ceiling, feeling the house grow quieter and quieter as one by one the lights go out. At some point after midnight, when the town slept and the last lamp went dark, the intruder came down. He carried Josiah's own axe. Doctors would later estimate the murders took place between midnight and 5 a.m. The killer moved first to the upstairs bedroom where Josiah and Sarah slept. Josiah was struck with the sharp end of the axe, again and again, with such force that marks were left on the ceiling above his bed. Sarah was next. Her head and face were destroyed by multiple blows. The killer then walked into the children's room. Herman, Katherine, Arthur, and Paul each attacked as they slept. Each blow was deliberate, cruel, and final. Downstairs, Ina and Lena Stillinger lay in the guest room. One of the girls, most believe Lena, may have awakened. Her body position and signs on the bed suggest she might have seen something or tried to defend herself, but there was no escape. By the time the axe was laid down, 8 lives had been erased. The house would never be the same. If the story ended there, it would already be horrifying, but what the killer did after the murders is what truly chills investigators to this day. In several rooms, mirrors and glass surfaces were covered with cloth. Some of the victims' faces were also covered, as if the killer could not bear to look at what he had done, or wanted to hide them from something or someone else. A bowl of bloody water sat in the kitchen, evidence that the killer had taken the time to wash his hands. Some reports mention food left out, like he had calmly eaten before leaving the house of the dead. A strange keychain was found, belonging to none of the family members. A lamp's chimney was removed, the wick bent. Blinds were drawn, doors locked. This was not a panicked escape. This was composed, calculated. And then, whoever he was, he vanished into the early morning haze. On Monday morning, June 10th, the town began to stir. Neighbors noticed something was wrong. Josiah, a reliable man, had not started his chores. The family was unusually quiet. A neighbor, worried, came to check. When no one answered, she called Josiah's brother and others. They entered the house and walked into a nightmare. Every bed occupied, every body brutally beaten. The sheriff was called. The house quickly filled with law enforcement, town officials, and, tragically, curiosity seekers who trampled the crime scene, destroying potential evidence before modern forensic methods could ever be used. The funerals were held together. 8 caskets lined up, a whole family and 2 young guests laid to rest. The town square overflowed with mourners. The National Guard was called in to control the crowds. Grief turned to fear, then to suspicion. In VILLISCA, for decades, people locked their doors at night and looked twice at their neighbors. Over the years, several suspects emerged. A traveling preacher, a man known for strange behavior and controversial sermons, a drifter, possibly connected to similar axe murders in other towns, a businessman with personal grudges. One suspect was even put on trial twice, but no jury ever reached a unanimous verdict. There was no clear physical evidence, no confession that held up, nothing that could answer the single question everyone had. Who walked into that house and slaughtered 8 innocent people? More than a century later, the VILLISCA axe murders remain officially unsolved. And when there is no justice, sometimes people say, a place refuses to rest. The Moore house still stands. Restored to look as it did in 1912, no electricity, no modern comforts, just wooden floors, old beds, oil lamps, and a heavy silence. It is now open to daytime tours and overnight stays for those who dare. Paranormal groups, thrill seekers, and skeptics come from all over, hoping to feel something. Many claim they do. Visitors report children's laughter in empty rooms, toys moving when no one is near, disembodied footsteps traveling across the upstairs floor. Some say they hear a woman's voice calling softly from the darkness, or feel a sudden pressure on the bed, as if someone has just sat down beside them. In 2014, during one paranormal investigation, a visitor stabbed himself in the chest while inside the house, with no clear explanation for why he did it. The wound was serious, but he survived. Investigators and the current owner spoke about how the man later said he didn't remember exactly why he did it at that moment. The house doesn't just hold memories, it seems to interact. So, imagine you book a night in the VILLISCA Axe Murder House. No phones, no lights, except for the dim glow of a lantern. Just you, some creaking floorboards, and the memory of what happened here in 1912. You pick a room. Maybe you choose the children's bedroom upstairs. The small beds are made, the dolls are in place. The wallpaper feels too cheerful for what you know happened here. You lie down, pretending to be brave, telling yourself you're only here for the experience. The house settles. Pipes? No, there are no pipes. Old wood? Maybe. But then, you hear it. Soft, small, bare feet, padding across the floor above you. Only, there is no one upstairs. You close your eyes. You tell yourself it's your imagination. Then something tugs, gently, at the end of your blanket. You sit up. No one there. You remember the Stillinger girls, sleeping in their guest room downstairs, never waking up to see the sun again. Maybe you choose Josiah and Sarah's room instead. You lie in the same space where the first blows fell. Some visitors say they feel pressure on their chest, like something heavy is pinning them in place, watching them struggle to breathe. Others say they see shadows move in the doorway, a figure, just out of focus, standing and staring, and when they switch on a flashlight, nothing is there. Downstairs in the kitchen, ghost hunters capture EVP recordings, soft voices answering questions, children humming, a woman whispering, "No," when asked if she wants them to leave. And always, there is the sense that you are not alone, that something in this house remembers. The VILLISCA Axe Murder House is not just a crime scene frozen in time. It is a wound, a scar that never healed. 8 lives ended in one brutal night, and no one ever paid the price. So the story lingers. The house stands. Tourists come and go. Lights click on and off. But when the last lantern is dimmed, when the final visitor leaves, when the door locks for the night, the house falls silent. Until, somewhere in the dark, a small laugh echoes down the hall. A floorboard creaks under invisible weight. And the night of June 9th, 1912, begins all over again.